Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. We are back on Butschern here in the lovely month of April. And we are going to be finishing up our silage. Well, actually, it's our grass collecting, I guess, that we're going to be turning into silage. Hope everybody's doing well. Friday is here. Yay. Always love saying that. Friday is here. Always a good thing. So we are going to get our grass collected, get it in the silage bunker, get it fermenting. Probably doing a little bit of fast forwarding on time to get to our harvest stages for our fields. We are drawing towards the end of Butschern. I think I mentioned that in our last episode that I am planning on wrapping this series up here fairly soon, but we still have some work to do before we close up the farm and let someone else take over from where we left off. Some money to make, some crops to harvest. I mean, we can't do all the work and not at least enjoy some of the good that came out of all the work we did last year, right? Still looking at the next map. Not entirely sure what that's going to be. I had a map in mind, but I thought about it and I'm going to save it for Throwback Thursday because it is a throwback map. And I thought, well, it'd be fun to do a series on it, but at the same time, I have been kind of looking forward to throwing it into Throwback Thursdays. So, excuse me. So once we finish up on Old Family Farm, which we'll have a few more episodes of Old Family Farm, we'll probably end up moving on to this other map. And yes, I am going to keep it a little bit of a surprise or keep you in suspense a little bit for it. Oh, man. I always feel like that's kind of cheesy, though, right? Like, oh, just tell us what map you're thinking of, for goodness sakes. Then I feel weird telling you now, so now it's kind of too late. So I'll keep it a bit of a, we'll just keep it a bit of a surprise. I think the speed up in means that our, yep, we are definitely full. So let's head around to our silage bunker. I'm going to try to spread this out fairly evenly so we don't have a bunch of hills to climb. We could actually use both bunkers. If I'm being honest, that would probably work good too, wouldn't it? So what do we do here? Is it Control I? Or is it just I? Or is it neither? Control I, Control I. Alright, get moving, Brad. Nice and slow. And just spread it out nice and even. Try not to make it too hard on ourselves for other loads that we have to bring over. Gotten pretty comfortable here on Butschern, though. Have enjoyed this map. Let's see here. We need to lower our pickup. Turn our wagon on. Get back to work. Now, if I remember last time, we did a couple things differently. One, we didn't prep the field because it was already had grass on it, so we're probably going to get a better yield out of the fields. And also, we did bale hay on the other field, which I don't think we're going to do this time. I think we're going to do all, we're just going to leave it all wet grass. We're going to try and load up on silage and make as much money as we possibly can from the silage load, I think we'll actually do... I think we'll do pretty well, if I'm being honest. And hopefully... Now, normally, I don't know how you guys treat your gameplay. A lot of times what I did, or what I do, is I'll go to a new map and play it, you know, for however long you want to play it. And then at the end, I end up selling all my crops. I generally sell livestock, things like that. If I've added buildings to the farm, like actually made improvements to the farm that I've had to pay for, like let's say you add a cow barn or a sheep stall or something like that, I take money for that. I'll either sell it or I'll just add it on to the value of the farm. I think you get where I'm kind of going. So I kind of try to make it like I'm selling the property, any properties I've purchased, that kind of thing, and just try to get a reasonable what are you doing there, Brad? And just try to get a reasonable amount to sell everything for. And then a lot of times I'll just take that money, and that's the money I'll take to my next map, and kind of treat it like one continues after the other kind of thing. That gets a little tricky sometimes, you know, because, you know, when we started the map, like a map like this, when we started it, oh, I do not want to get stuck. Maybe I should have planned this a little bit better. I'll tell you what would be really nice is have one of those fermenting silos. Yeah, we're gonna get stuck. And I want to keep it in the bunker. This was a horrible idea. How much am I spreading out? Ooh, we might have to get some of that picked up. Yeah, I think I'm... Oh, no, maybe I'm not stuck. Come on, floor it, Massey. You can do it. Let's unload some more. Maybe that'll help. Well, we definitely won't be driving over that anytime soon, will we? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to figure something out there because we've got a lot of grass left to do. So yeah, it gets a little bit tricky figuring out like how you want to set the value of your property and whatnot, but I just try to be reasonable about it, just so that, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm cheating the game and going to the next map with multiple, you know, $20 million where, you know, you don't deserve it kind of thing. I'm thinking on the Let's Plays that we do, though, that I'm probably not going to really do that because it doesn't kind of make as much sense to do that for the recorded series. So we're probably just going to see where we end up on Butschern, call it good, and move on to the next map. And I've been looking at maps, and there's a lot of good maps out there. So it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what to go to next. I know that I want to do something that's a little bit larger, I think. Doesn't necessarily have to be an American map. Certainly could be a Canadian map. I'd be open to European maps, as long as I don't feel like I'm going to be fighting collisions all the time with all the hedges and whatnot that's around the fields. I just don't really enjoy that as much. I think most of them aren't usually set up as collisions, so it's not so bad. But you know, a map that I never played was Calmsden. I never played that. I downloaded it, I drove around it, looked at it. Very pretty map, really, really well done by Oxygen David, but I never played it. And I watched some Let's Play stuff on it. Looked really good. Trying to think of, other than the base game maps, I played a lot of Elm Creek. Played a little bit. No, I didn't play. Is it Hope Rome? Didn't play that. Did again? I did check it out. Kind of watched. I think Daggerwind played a lot of that map. So I watched that series off and on. But we'll figure something out that that'll be a lot of fun to kick off. And we're full again. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot. I thought our yields might be pretty good this time with this field. I knew it was going to be better than last time just because we did end up liming and fertilizing both fields, so I knew we were probably going to be a lot better off this time than we were last time. Let's see if I have any luck. I don't have a lot of luck backing these trailers up that have the steering axles. Well, I don't have a lot of luck backing anything up, but these steering axle trailers can be a little squirrely. But we're just gonna try, and even if it doesn't look pretty, gets away from me really, really quick. Let's try and straighten this out just a little bit. See if I can get it to center a little bit better. It doesn't have to be pretty when I get in there. I just don't want to really get stuck again. But as long as we can unload. Let's see here. Maybe I can straighten that out just a little bit better. Try to get back as far as I can. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's try that. We'll load this bunker silo up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on, Massey. There you go. There you go. I'm actually not entirely sure how much these silos hold. Let's take a peek at this here. So we're at fill level 103,000, so compacting is already 26%. We've got lots of room here. Well, let's just keep it up, get the grass picked up, do the best we can. If we've got, if I end up with too much left over, we can always put it in our storage shed or our storage barn here, and pick it up later to either sell as grass, or we can sell it as, or put it back in the bunker silo and get that fermenting when this stuff is done. But it's been a good week. I hope you all had a good week. I know for me it's been a very busy week. Very busy week. Kind of tired, ready for the weekend for sure. Was checking out the mods that were released today, Thursday, and I'm liking that Farmall that was released. That looks like a pretty sweet old tractor. And I think there was even a bunker silo compactor that was released. Probably could use that about right now. It looks like it can help compact bunker silos, and they showed it doing some field work, like dragging around crops that are left on the ground. Like, I could see that might be kind of handy if you're doing sugar beets and you're just dropping them off on the field to pick up later or something like that. Another crop I have not done a lot of is sugar beets, and I kind of want to get into a map next that will allow us to kind of expand our root crops as well and get some big root crop fields going. Maybe even start using some of those potato mods that have come out so we can take advantage of productions with potatoes and stuff. I think that would be, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I was thinking before we started that it would have been nice to have a wagon that offered silage additive. But now I'm thinking, man, I don't know what we would do with I don't know what we would do with more grass right now as far as room in our bunkers and stuff go. I think we're going to have plenty of grass to fill up these silage bunkers. I guess I could look. I guess I probably should have grabbed our most powerful tractor. And this is the 6718. I think this is the more powerful of the two Massies. Once we get this filled, I want to take a quick peek at that and see what if we have another option for maybe a little bit more of a powerful tractor to help maybe keep us from getting stuck in that bunker. It'd be nice. I'd like to see on the next version of Farm Sim a little bit better setup for tow chains and tow straps. I think that would be something that would be really fun to have built into the game. A little bit more, you know, kind of, because I find the mod ones can be a little bit tricky to use. Maybe I just haven't used them often enough to get good at them. I've just always found them to be a little bit on the trickier side, but it'd be cool to see Giants maybe get a little bit more into providing that kind of gameplay when needed. Let's see if I can get this thing somewhat lined up in there. Need you to go a little bit more that way, buddy. We'll try and get another trailer load. Yeah, we're just gonna call that good enough. Let it start dumping and filling. And I'm just thinking to myself, how are we going to compact all of this silage? That's going to be an interesting... That might end up being a bit of an interesting chore in and of itself. We may have to lease a bigger... something big, something a little bit more capable than just dragging our poor tractors around on there. All right, let me lower our pickup and turn our pickup back on. Because we still have a decent amount of grass on this field, and we've got that other field across the street that we still have to pick up on as well. Hope you had a chance to check out Throwback Thursday last night. I had a lot of fun making that one. Really enjoyed the mower that we're using on Throwback Thursday. That thing is a trip. I think it's cool. I'm gonna try and I meant to do it last night, but it got a little late. But I want to go on YouTube and see if I can find some video of a mower like that being used in real life. I think they're so simplistic in design, but I would imagine fairly effective. Like nowhere near today's mower standards. Like if you look at the mowers today, technology even on mowers has come a long ways, but there's something to be said about the beauty of simplicity and how well it works. And that mower is definitely along those lines. Maintenance on it would be a fairly easy. Of course, if you haven't seen the mower yet, it's basically just a simple axle / belt driven mower. But I would imagine though that it probably didn't react very well to hitting large field stones. So I would imagine farmers, if they used that style mower, were probably sharpening the blades a lot and even possibly replacing blades a little more often, just because there's no forgiveness to that design. It's you hit a rock, a big field stone, and well, the only thing that can give is either the blades or possibly the belts that are driving it, but I doubt those would even give way. I think it's probably going to be the blade that suffers the most damage. But I do like checking out those kind of videos on YouTube where you get the 1950s 1950s farming families and stuff, and they're showing the old style combines that were open cab. Wow, that must have been something in the middle of the summer, no air conditioning, sitting out in the baking sun, dirt all around you. Most certainly a different ball game than I would say a lot of the farmers have today with the modern equipment. Is come a long ways, but it's still no easy job. Even if you give them a nice equipment, there's still a lot of hours, a lot of stress. Surprisingly, a large amount of administrative work too. I think that's easy to forget. Yeah, that we're going to try and line this up a little bit better. I think it's easy to forget how much paperwork farmers have to go through, and red tape, and that would drive me drive me crazy. I would say just put me out in the field, let me do the actual farm stuff, and hopefully either hire somebody that's good with paperwork or something, because that's one thing I've never really enjoyed is doing all the administrative stuff, that's for sure. And you find a good person who can do that, they're worth their weight in gold. That is not very pretty. I'd like to get it a little more centered. That'll work. Alright, let's get this load dumped. It might be worth doing some compacting and maybe getting this thing flattened out a little bit more and be able to put some more in it then. But we're doing pretty good. We're getting a majority of this field knocked out, I think. So I think we might be in a position where we can start unloading into that other bunker. I don't think we have to push ourselves too hard to use every square ounce or inch of surface on here. Let's lower our pickup. Get this started again. Yeah, we've gotten quite a bit picked up. I thought we had a little bit more to go, but this is coming along actually pretty nicely now. So even if I switch, once we end Butschern, we will be continuing Kubota Farm for a while. That one's usually only 2 episodes a week. I usually revisit Kubota Farms on the weekends to get like an extra episode in on Saturday mornings or Sunday. But we've only got like 22 or 23 episodes into Kubota Farm. So I do plan on keeping that one alive for a while. And like I said, you know, Butschern was my first, or is my first map for recording. And I guess I really didn't have any plans, you know, for it, like what I wanted to do with it or how far I wanted to take it or anything like that. And I'm kind of learning as I go, and now I'm kind of getting anxious to move on to something else. How long do you all play maps usually? Do you play maps for, do you find yourselves playing maps, like sticking to the same map for hundreds of hours, or do you switch off and like play a map for a year in game and then call it good? I think maybe it depends on how much you kind of fall in love with the map, right? Like if I find a map that I'm just exceptionally comfortable with and really like, Elm Creek worked for me for a long time. I got really comfortable on Elm Creek, and it just became kind of a comfortable map for me to play. I put a lot of time into Elm Creek, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I know that base game maps oftentimes get a bit ridiculed for their field shapes, you know, being more square and rectangle and not being very diversified, you know, like, but I also understand why Giants try to keep their base game maps the way they do, as far as, because you got a lot of new players that come in, and you know, I would think as a new player I would definitely struggle on maps that had a lot of obstacles to deal with, things like that. So I get why Giants maybe tries to keep some of their base game maps a little more on the simplistic side. I'll try and clean some of these little areas up that are kind of floating around here. We'll try and get this trailer filled and probably call it good for this episode of Butschern. I will, excuse me, my voice is tired today. I will get some more wrapped up for us So the next time we're together, we'll either have this wrapped up or close to wrapping up the silage stuff. And like I said, we're going to start moving ahead with time and getting into harvest season. You've done good, Massey. I know. I've abused you a little bit on these silage runs. But you've done pretty good. Overall, you've done pretty good. You've gotten us out of getting stuck a few times, so I'm proud of you for that. Let's see if we can get this thing dumped in here. That'll probably be the last load I put into this silo, because I think we'll be good with using the other silo for the rest. Maybe. If not, we can always go back and fill some more. Oh boy, I cut that one tight, didn't I? Let's see if I can get this centered a little bit better. Oh, over that way a little bit more. There we go. Back her up. And let's get her dumped. I'm going to try and not pile it up too much on this end, so maybe... I didn't do a very good job of it, did I? I was going to say it would be nice to be able to have it so I could get up on there to do some compacting. Boy, I have no idea. We might have to get the John Deere out and get some weight put on him and see what he can do. But hey, that's going to do it for this episode of Butschern. I do appreciate y'all joining me today, putting up with me. I'm sorry if I sound a bit tired. It is getting towards the end of the week, and I feel like I'm ready for the weekend. But thanks all for joining me here on Butschern. You all take care of yourselves, take care of each other most importantly, and I will see you this weekend, hopefully with some more farming stuff. Talk to you soon.